start the recording, shall we? Okay.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? So, guys, we have Blurry Face here co-casting with me for this match. This is game 2 of Team Undecided with Sylar's Wrath. So I think Blurry Face actually has more experience with Dota than I do. So you're gonna hear me ask a lot of dumb questions, and he's gonna basically have all the answers to all the questions I have. So that'll be exciting. You able to hear me?
1 second, I can probably. I'm probably echoing really bad though. So just.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we're seeing the Undying and the Shadow Fiend being banned. Again, Undying is just such a strong support hero, and I can see why Undying is being banned over and over again, just because his tombstone just absolutely devastating team fights. Plus, that's so ripped, just gives his team so much heal and tankiness. And I'm guessing the Shadow Fiend is being banned from Sylar's Wrath just based on the play of the last game. That Shadow Fiend just did a ton of damage, and a lot of DPS was outputted during the team fights against him. So I think right now they're just trying to anticipate what may and may not happen. Now the thing here is that Sylar's Wrath is actually a group of people that were just grouped randomly together, and they've actually got some fairly good synergy. They've been really exciting to watch for this tournament. I really like watching them play. Team Undecided, these guys have actually been playing together for a very long time, so they obviously know each other's weaknesses and strengths, and I want to say Arius is usually their drafter. He has a very good idea of working knowledge of the game. So I played some few games with him. He's actually giving me some insight on why certain mechanics work the way that they do, and why certain heroes are picked the way that they are. So again, guys, it's very important that when you are playing Captain's Draft and you are the captain, it's not the best interest just to pick a hero that everybody else likes to play. I mean, granted, you do want to pick a hero that people know how to play, but make sure it's a team that works well, right? Captain's Draft, for this reason, is going to be more an advanced mode of Dota. You're going to want to really pay attention to how everything's working together. We're seeing that Gyrocopter coming out from Team Undecided this time. This was originally Sylar's Wrath's pick. So for Gyrocopter, I think with how much physical damage he was doing earlier, depending on how much physical damage you're going to go for, it might not be a bad idea to pick up an Omni Knight. Omni Knight obviously has his ulti, which is going to actually prevent everybody from actually doing any right-click damage, which would be awesome. And if you have a Omni Knight with Silencer, it pretty much makes the entire enemy team unable to do anything. Give me 1 second, let's just check in with my co-caster here, see if he's able to talk yet. Alright, nothing yet.
10 seconds remaining.
No response. Sorry, guys. Alright, so we see the Viper coming out. Now, I get the feeling that Viper is going to end up being picked up by Happy. Happy played a devastating Viper in the first game that they had against Team B. Blurry Face, we got you there now, right? Can you hear me?
Sorry about that.
Perfect. Some mic issues? Bathroom issues?
I got the wrong pair of headphones, that's all.
That would make a difference. So we see a Shadow Demon and a Viper being picked here. Shadow Demon actually had a huge game impact in that last match there. Just doing some nice saves and actually just really casting out Demonic Purge into Banish and the Soul Catcher, just basically doing a ton of damage. Again, we're seeing a Leshrac and a Gyrocopter being picked up again. This time on the other side. Previously it was done by Sylar's Wrath, but now we're seeing Team Undecided pick up the Gyrocopter and Leshrac. It almost might be like a reverse draft pick, which would be very interesting. Seeing Lena being banned again. I don't know, have you been watching any of the games at the internationals, Blurry?
Oh, I've been loving all these games. I went for all the underdogs though. My top picks were Void Boys, Ninjas in Pajamas.
Oh yeah.
All those people. I love those people. But unfortunately, they both got fourth in the brackets. So
yeah, that was hard for them.
They won't be able to make it to the TI even. Yeah.
That was a rough game,
Two of
but
my favorite teams. But
Navi actually ended up making it for the 5th time in a row. So that was actually pretty impressive, and they actually.
Back, man.
They brought back one of their old players. They have art style now. They just need Light of Heaven and almost be pretty close to old Navi days. So that'll be very exciting to watch. So I've been noticing that Leshrack's being picked up a lot right now, and I know it's just because of the Octarine core. But what other changes to Leshrack has been made that's making them so devastating to being picked in all these games now?
Honestly, it's the Octarine core and those Bloodstone charges that just give him unlimited mana and lifesteal, so he's impossible to take down, really. He just goes into a fight, turns on his ult, and he doesn't die. He just sits there.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because his ultimate is actually an area effect and it just constantly ticks, right? That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great pick. So we're seeing actually a bounty hunter being banned from Sylar's Wrath here. What do you think was the reason for why they would have banned a bounty hunter? What do you think they were anticipating?
They were probably trying to slow down. They were probably thinking that they needed to speed up Gyro's progression as fast as possible, because Gyro's going to be their late game carry, and the sooner they can get him up, the sooner they can start really doing damage into this game. And if a bounty hunter is on your team, each and every kill that the Gyrocopter gets is more bonus gold to him.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So we're also seeing a Phantom Lancer being banned, as well as a Broodmother. Broodmother is being banned just because he's such a strong pusher, and you know I could see Broodmother could really just push an entire lane by herself, absolutely devastating. We're seeing a Witch Doctor coming out from Sylar's Wrath here. Witch Doctor has an amazing ult, especially if you're able to catch his stun between two different heroes. He just casts his Death Ward down there, and those two heroes are just going to be stunned to death over and over and over. So based on what we're seeing picked here, I'm guessing we're going to have a Viper go mid. I'm thinking the Witch Doctor and Shadow Demon are going to go for a defensive tri-lane again. And then for Team Undecided, I think we're going to see Leshrack being paid mid as well. Just like you said, I think they're going to try to rush Leshrack to get to level 6 as soon as possible, with the Gyrocopter Dazzle going safe lane, if I were to guess. What do you anticipate them to pick next, though, with this team that's going on?
Witch Doctor with Shadow Demon, they need some sort of pretty much attack damage carry, physical damage carry, that they're late game carry pretty much. So I'm guessing who's in the meta right now.
Well, I'm not seeing Void picked up as much. Maybe a Juggernaut?
One of those out of the ordinary picks.
You said Juggernaut, maybe?
Yeah, either a Juggernaut Void, maybe a Templar Assassin. This would
Juggernaut,
actually be a decent Templar Assassin gain, except for that. Oh, there's the Juggernaut. Nice call on that one.
Oh, you called it. So some nice late game carry. But where are we going to see Team Undecided counter here? I could actually see... well, actually, does Viper's attacks do magical damage? No, they're all... Oh, it is magical damage.
They are.
So I guess... I mean, I could see an Omni Knight coming...
It's physical, and poison attack is magical.
I could see an Omni Knight coming out, but then... not anymore. Because I was thinking the Vipers that actually all physical attack, and the Omni Knight would be actually a great pick just to make sure they keep their team alive. But I see a Darkseer here. Okay. So Darkseer was actually something
Darkseer is going to be really nice.
That was something I actually was in the last game. I was expecting him to pick the Darkseer just because there's the Leshrack and Gyrocopter. I really see it's just a devastating combo, right? You're gonna see Leshrack cast an Earth Spike, and then Darkseer is going to vacuum everybody into the Earth Spike with the Gyrocopter doing the call down on it. So that's just a pretty nice team combo going on.
All of Dire's team's ultimates all really are AoE affected right now, so a Darkseer's vacuum is really nice. I mean, Dazzle's Weave will reduce everyone on the other team's armor. Gyrocopter's ult will slow them all down, and Leshrack will just be able to melt them down with his ult.
That's true. I think the reason the Viper may have came out as well.
Really nice pickup here.
The Viper actually pickup might be a really good pickup against Leshrack, because Leshrack does so much magic damage, but Viper has its corrosive skin, which is basically going to slow down the Leshrack and actually make him take additional damage. And at the level 1 lightning from Leshrack does 75 damage, but by taking Viper's skin, it's actually going to make the Leshrack take 80 damage, if I recall correctly. So, oh, this is interesting. So we got a Nature's Prophet being picked.
It's a worse trade.
Yeah, the Nature's Prophet being picked, so...
These guys in a while.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet.
Very greedy pick.
You think so? Oh yeah, that's true because you got the Viper, Juggernaut, and the Nature's Prophet playing together. Nature's Prophet, obviously, is going to go jungle at this point. We're going to have the Juggernaut go safe lane with the Witch Doctor, Viper mid. Who would be the off lane? Or maybe we have the Nature's Prophet go off lane, Viper mid, Juggernaut safe lane.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Nature's Prophet off lane.
Okay.
It's either going to be a Nature's Prophet mid or a Nature's Prophet off lane, or in a Viper off lane. Those two are either going to switch around.
You know, it might be good. Might not be a bad idea to have the Viper go mid, just so that way. I'm sorry, have Viper go off lane, just because he's going to be a lot more tankier than Nature's Prophet. So, but in the meantime, on Team Undecided, I still think we're going to see the Leshrac go mid. I'm willing to bet the Darkseer is definitely going to go for an off lane. Getting that Ion Shell as quickly as possible. It's just going to make him super easy to farm, and then Gyrocopter going safe lane with the Dazzle. But I'm wondering what their 5th pick would be. I think a Tidehunter would be a really great pick here, because his Ravage will come in, Darkseer can then vacuum, and then everything else folds together. An Earthshaker. Okay, so I didn't anticipate that. What do you think would be the reason for an Earthshaker? You there? Blurry?
So they already had their off lane, so
Okay.
they needed Tidehunter off lane, so they were going for it. They needed another support, which was with their Dazzle to secure farm for their Gyrocopter.
Okay.
That's why they got that.
That makes
Earthshaker.
a lot more sense.
Which, with
What are you saying?
depending who's on the off lane, it could be really. Depending on who's on the off lane, it could be really nice, because if it's a Nature's Prophet off lane, they won't be able to escape with that fissure. Or same with the Viper either, so they'll be able to secure some really early kills if they overextend in that off lane.
Okay, that's very true. Seeing early smoke again coming from Team Undecided. I think they are just going to anticipate trying to kill the safe lane carry as quickly as possible. And we got a 5 versus 3 coming down here from bottom lane. So let's take a look and see what's going to happen here. This Juggernaut's probably going to get caught off guard. This is going to be devastating. We got a early stun. Juggernaut's going to spin away, able to get away here. Are they able to get away? We got the paralyzing cask. Very nice paralyzing cask, but I think the Witch Doctor should have just kept running towards his tower.
Nope, I think he's going to get away.
No, he's going to be brought down. Where was he? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Great fissure from the Earthshaker. You know, I think the Earthshaker actually had a mango on him.
Don't you?
Yeah, I think the Earthshaker actually had a mango, because he had already casted his fissure. So I think he had a mango, because there's no way he could have been able to cast that second fissure so quickly.
125. So he must have had 2 clarities.
You think so?
I think that's what he had. He had another clarity. So yeah, he used his first fissure. So he has 208 base mana. So he only needs about 12 more mana to cast another fissure. So I think he just had another clarity on him.
Okay.
That would have easily been enough mana for him to cast another fissure at that time.
That was a great fissure, though. It really looked like the Witch Doctor was actually going to get away right there. So let's take a look and see what's going on here. Are you actually able to control the camera, or?
I thought he was going to.
Let's see. Let's take a look here.
I'm not a good controller of the camera. I'm doing my own camera thing.
Oh, nice. That's actually really awesome. Oh, okay, I can see where your camera's at. Cool. So you're watching the top lane and watching the bottom lane here. Well, this is gonna work out. So we got a tri-lane coming up from Team Undecided with the Gyrocopter and Earthshaker and Dazzle. I'm actually assuming the Earthshaker is going to roam back and forth between mid and top lane, which is fairly common to have an Earthshaker play that way. We see the Darkseer putting a point in Surge. I think he was actually putting a Surge in there earlier, just so that way they could give the chasing power for the Gyrocopter earlier to take down that Witch Doctor as soon as possible. But usually, if you aren't getting Surge, Ion Shell is a fairly common pickup, because what you're going to see here is the Ion Shell is going to be cast on one of the melee creeps, and the melee creeps basically going to harass and keep the Juggernaut from doing any type of damage. So. And we always see the Witch Doctor doing a double pull there for that lane.
New players out there, you're probably.
Oh, think
for
we're
our
having...
new players out there, you're
yeah.
probably a little confused on why the Nature's Prophet TP'd in between the two middle towers right over here, and placed that observer ward. So this Leshrak's going to want his bottle as soon as possible, and this Nature's Prophet TP'd there and put an observer ward, so that whenever that he uses his courier, he'll spot it when it's coming over, and he'll be able to TP back over and snipe it back.
Oh,
Looks
okay.
like they're using the courier right now, so looks like they're going to get a quick courier kill.
That is smart. I did not realize that. That's awesome. See, I learn something new every day. Learn something new every single day. That's good stuff. So it looks like this Darkseer is going to be harassed by this Shadow Demon. Nope. And they were able to track that courier very quick and actually protect it. So Nature's Prophet almost sniped the courier out, but yeah, it's just exactly like you called it. That was very smart. And you know what? Actually, Sylar's Wrath paid very close attention, or actually, it was Team Undecided that paid very close attention. They almost lost the courier there, so that was a very, very close call. Very smart micro at the last minute. I think Nature's Prophet, had he pursued it, he would have been able to get the Cypher kill, and it would completely handicap the Leshrac because that was a bottle coming through. All right.
I think the Nature's Prophet was mostly just scared of a rotation from the Leshrac, because he was in between two mid towers, and if he would have been cut out, he would have been dead easy.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was a smart, safe play on the Nature's Prophet side.
So we're actually seeing the Darkseer here actually carrying a soaring recipe. Guys, what I mentioned, the reason why you're going to see a soaring recipe being carried versus the components is because the components can be bought from the side shop, and rather than actually hampering your mid from not being able to use courier, it's just better to get your recipe and just purchasing the remaining components from the side shop itself, so that way your mid has more of an advantage of the courier use. Okay, and we're seeing a Nature's Prophet going through and start farming the jungle as quickly as possible. He's going to want to level up his teleportation and his Nature's Call as quickly as possible to make the farming as efficiently as he can. Teleportation is actually, I think usually you want to max teleportation second, just because it's going to reduce the cooldown time and start making him pop around the map, make him extremely annoying. Looks like we have a rune being contested here for a top rune. The Dazzle was able to steal, but it looks like he's going to be brought down by the Nature's Prophet and the Viper. And the Leshrac and the Earthshaker are going to be chased back here.
You see the problem with this Nature's Prophet pick is he's all over the map except for the off lane where he needs to be. It looks like he's starting to return over there, but this Gyrocopter is getting free farm right now. I mean, if you look at his last hits, it's 25 and 12. And that's going to be really hard to... He's getting really good early game, and it's going to be harder to shut down even later game.
That makes a lot of sense. It looks like we have, let's look at the last hits map. You're right, the Gyrocopter is actually leading in last hits with 13 denies. Viper and actually Juggernaut following by a close second, and then the Leshrac is actually quite a bit behind the Viper. This Leshrac is not able to do a whole lot of damage or just really do anything much. This Viper here, this Viper is just harassing the hell out of him out of lane. And it looks like we have some exchanges here coming between the Darkseer and the Juggernaut. This Darkseer is just going to make it a pain in the ass for Juggernaut to farm. The Juggernaut does not have the Shadow Demon there to actually take out that range creep, which he absolutely needs to be brought down as soon as possible.
Oh, I think this Viper overextended. Yep.
Where did we lose the fight? Where did that happen?
He was able to get the kill on that Leshrac, though. That was right at the middle of... Viper went over and... Viper strike the Leshrac, and there was he didn't know that there was an Earthshaker over there.
Oh
Earthshaker
crap!
fissured.
Looks like with Darkseer
tower, and then Leshrac.
Yeah, it looks like we just saw the Darkseer being brought down as well, with the Nature's Prophet popping in, just like you said, pop the Sprout, and then the Earthshaker casting the Fissure to stun him. Basically kept the Darkseer from escaping, and it's going to give some breathing room for the Juggernaut right now to get some farm in as quickly as possible. And you're right, it looks like this Gyrocopter is just going to get free from top.
Fissures are securing a lot of kills right now.
Yeah, playing very well. Alright, this is Shadow Demon. We also got race car sound effects for you guys, just because our channel's cool like that. Alright, looks like the Viper is actually going to go through and try to chase this Leshrac down. Dazzle's going to come in. He's going to shallow grave him, save him, but is that poison going to outlast the...
but it was on the wrong side.
Yep. Oh, very, very lucky. The
HP.
Yeah, the Leshrac was able to...
He might have overextended a little bit, nope.
Leshrac was able to pop the bottle and save him. Otherwise, the Viper would have secured that kill. That was a great shell grade from Dazzle. Very last minute. This
looks like this
Nature's Prophet's going to be brought down. Yeah, this Nature's Prophet's not going to survive this fight.
This Nature's Prophet's way overextended, way too much.
All right. So let's take a look and see what we have going on here.
This is the bad side when you get stand-ins.
But the Nature's Prophet, though, is actually a guy named Rich. If I'm thinking if it's the same Rich, he's fairly decent player. He's actually pretty devastating as a Broodmother. So these guys are guys that they play together all the time. Most of you guys are actually, they've been 5K players before, and they rotate between 5K and 4K. They're fairly decent players. So we see the roaming Earthshaker coming up top. I think they're actually going to try to go for the kill against the Shadow Demon. He's going to get caught out. Shadow Demon's going to do a quick stun. We're going to see the call down. Viper's going to go through and try to bring down the Gyrocopter. The Gyrocopter's going to go down. Shadow Demon's going to try to run away. Shadow Demon's going to be able to get away. And the Viper's actually going to go through and try to chase down the Earthshaker. Poison is going to come through. Dazzle can't do much. The Shadowgrave is off already. Shadowgrave's going to be brought down by the Viper. Leshrac's going to come and try to do some damage. The Corrosive Skin is just making the Viper so incredibly tanky. But Leshrac was able to bring the bring down the Viper there. It looks like we might have had a disconnect from yeah, there was a disconnect from the Gyrocopter. So it looks like we had a fair amount of damage done. It was actually a 1-for-3 fight, so that fight actually went fairly well on Sylar's Wrath, with the Viper actually getting quite a bit of gold. So it looks like the Juggernaut and the Viper are actually getting really decent farm at that point. This Nature's Prophet's going to get a phase boost just to give him some power to run away, just so that way he could probably rat Dota just a little bit better. And in the meantime, we're seeing the Darkseer actually rotate for to mid lane, so that
picking up
Hannah Midas.
Gyrocopter picked up a Midas. It's a little confusing. I don't really see Gyros pick up Midases that often.
Yeah, I think it's just to try to sell it.
Progression on farm. I mean,
but do you think maybe that the reason that he picked up Midas wasn't so much for the gold, but more actually for the experience boost? We're going to see the Earthshaker being focused down by the Viper right there, actually taking down the Leshrac at the Viper. And that was a 4-team wipe. That was very devastating for Team Undecided here. Sylar's Draft off to a really great start, and we're going to see the Viper start building up a mechanism as soon as possible. Fairly tanky item for Viper. Viper doesn't need a lot of items to do a lot of damage, so by getting the mechanism, it's actually going to allow him to feed his team, to actually keep his team sustained alive a lot more. But you were saying about the Hannah Midas, you didn't think it was a very good pick?
Dyer's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
I don't think it's very good at a pick on a Gyrocopter. Yeah, it'll give you levels and gold, but you want to get Gyrocopter as early as online as possible, so that means focus on buying items, not on Hands of Midases. You want to get him as soon as possible, get his helm, his Dominator, get his BKB, get everything so that you can prevent the other team from killing you, and you can kill the other team. Now, with this Hannah Midas pickup, you're just going to get a little bit of bonus attack speed and a little bit of bonus experience, but I think the payout for getting something like Helm of a Dominator would have been much better in this case.
That makes a lot of sense, because he can actually start using the Dominated Creeps with the Helmet of Dominator to start stacking some Ancient Camps, just to make sure that once he gets his damage output up, he can actually go through and farm the Ancient Camp as soon as possible. So we are seeing the Darkseer placing two illusions right there. I think we're having a bit of a time delay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. There's like a weird time delay, because I think we're just behind each other by like a couple seconds. So it's kind of awkward. All good? Should be good now. Alright, let's get back to the game. Sorry about that, guys.
Ooh, Viper just got...
Viper is doing extremely well. Let's take a look at hero level right now. Oh, a Gyrocopter got picked up. I did not see that. Yeah, this Viper is actually farming extremely well. Looks like the Viper has 8 kills and 3 deaths already. The thing about Viper is they're going to need to finish this game as quickly as possible, because Viper is not a late game carry, but I think they're trying to mitigate that by having the Juggernaut on their team. Right now, the Gyrocopter is just being shut down over and over and over again.
You see, this is where a Helm of Detonator or something else that'll give him a little bit more takiness would have paid out more than Hand of Midas, because he's just getting picked off now. Even though he does have the more level, he's a higher level than everyone else, he can't really do anything because he doesn't have the damage or sustainability as anyone.
Makes sense.
The other team.
So we do see the Nature's Prophet coming in and actually picking off the Dazzle there, and then the Viper actually going through and picking off the Lestrak as well. It looks like this Earthshaker's not going to get away. The Nature's Prophet's going to go through and pour in, sprout him, and then the Mechanism coming out already for the Viper. This team fight is going very, very well for Sylar so far. Again, happy playing. I want to say maybe it's a signature hero, but he plays a very devastating Viper. And as soon as this Viper gets a BKB on him, it's going to make that Lestrak completely useless against him. And they're going to have to rely on the Gyrocopter to do as much damage to the Viper, which could be very difficult with his corrosive skin. And already seeing the Nature's Prophet actually starting to go through and push that top lane as quickly as possible, which they're going to need because there hasn't been any towers pushed yet. That extra gold income is going to be very useful for the entire team.
Well, it looked like a game that looked like it was easily supposed to be in the favor for Team Undecided on the laning stage. These guys have really punished them for it. I mean, they to me dominated the laning stage just because they had better lanes. They had an off lane Darkseer to just secure farm, because Darkseer and off lane is one of the best off laners for me, because not only will he be able to leech experience, but his Ion Shell will also be able to get him gold as well, while not even being near the creeps or any of the heroes, so he'll be able to safely secure farm. And while like the only thing that the only person I feel lost their lane was the Lestrak against the Viper, but that's expected.
But that Nature's Prophet just being able to teleport back and forth was just absolutely devastating against them. So we're seeing the Shadow Demon actually going against the Lestrak. I think he's thinking it's going to be by himself, but the Shadow Demon's going to get caught out and actually be brought down. The Viper is going to port in and try to do some damage while he can. He might not chase. There's going to be 4 heals at the bottom. Maybe. I don't think the Viper is going to commit. He's going to back off a little bit there. It doesn't look like it's a very safe fight. Shadow Demon gets brought down. It's actually not... It was a loss, but it's not as devastating as, say, if the Viper had been brought down, because currently he's sitting at 10 kills and 3 deaths, which make his bounty quite large. Now we're seeing the Juggernaut actually farming his own jungle there. Okay.
Looks like Juggernaut is doing quite well on farm, though. He's right behind that Gyrocopter, and Viper is, of course, leading everything just because he's been such a kill threat lately. He's just been dominating everyone. What is he? 10-3 and 5?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the Viper's actually got a point booster on there. I think he might end up getting an Aghanim Scepter, which would not be a bad pick. That's Darkseer's going to try to port away, and Darkseer's going to be brought down by Viper's Nether Toxin. He was trying to TP back, but there's not a whole lot he can do there. Gyrocopter coming with the global cooldown, and they really need to bring this Viper down as quickly as possible. It's the only way they're going to get some type of a comeback. He does come down. Shallow Grave is going to end up saving the Earthshaker, but the Witch Doctor was able to get his Death Ward in there and actually take out the Lestrak and the Earthshaker there. That was actually a fairly devastating team fight again for Team Undecided, because not only did they lose 3 heroes, they also lost a tier 1 tower, which is just going to give a nice gold income injection for Sylar's Wrath, as well as the top lane being lost as well. I think we might actually
But
be...
they did lose their Viper to the Gyrocopter, though.
That's true. I think we...
That is a very big kill right there. He's got a Sanj now. He's now leading the teams in net worth.
That's true. I think we were actually I think you're 30 seconds behind me, because after I finished talking, you reply about 30 seconds later. There might be a slight lag, maybe? Are you getting that?
No, I feel like I'm responding right to what you say.
Huh, interesting.
I have no idea if there's a lag or not.
Yeah, it's all good. But either way, let's take a look and see what's going on here. So we got a team fight going forward to mid here. It looks like Sylar's Wrath is actually going to try to push through this middle lane against Team Undecided. I think they're going to actually try to force a team fight. And the Shadow Demon saving the Viper from that homing missile with his Banish. And it looks like they're going to go through and engage. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. They're really trying to force a team fight. We're going to see the Lestrak trying to go through and stun this Viper down as quickly as possible.
Oh, Happy got
This
locked in. Oh.
Completely locked in by the fissure. That was a devastating loss for Sylar's Wrath. They're not going to be able to push that lane. They're going to have to back up without the Viper. There's no DPS going on there. In the meantime, though, we are actually seeing the Nature's Prophet rat through the top tower, creating space. So this is actually, the fight may not have gone in their favor, but you know what? Nature's Prophet is actually going to be able to push this top tower down in favor of Sylar's Wrath. And there's just nobody there to come up there to defend it. The Nature's Prophet is just going to go through and TP back and just be a pain in the ass to deal with. This is going to be a very, very hard fight for. This is going to be a very hard fight for Team Undecided because they don't have a very global presence team to respond quickly to Nature's Prophet, constant bouncing back and forth. We're seeing the Viper going through and push the bottom lane. I think he's going to try to secure some farm here. I'm wondering what his next item build will be. Let's take a look and see what we have here. Okay, we see a fissure actually coming out from the middle lane here. This Earthshaker is just basically trying to play Gandalf, throw a fissure in there, telling them they cannot pass. Wish he would just yell out, "You shall not pass," because that would be hilarious in the game chat. Alright. So Viper here is actually going through and farming lanes. I'm wondering maybe Black King Bar, maybe? I think Black King Bar would actually be a very good pickup for Viper right now, just to go against that Leshrac, to just mitigate all the magic damage, as well as from the Darkseer and the Gyrocopter and Earthshaker.
Well, I think right now he has to finish up his Ags first. Once he finishes up his Ags, BKB would be a good pick. Maybe something that deals a little bit more damage, since they got two pretty good heavy cores on their team that they have to deal with, and it's going to be hard for Jug to get both of them down this into mid game. So I think BKB, maybe a damage dealing item, maybe one of those two. It should be one of those two things though. I'm thinking like a SNY would be a good pickup, something like that.
Oh, I see. Makes a lot of sense. I would agree with the Agnum Scepter. I could see the Agnum Scepter going on there because it's going to give him some more stats, give him some more tankability to keep him surviving a little bit longer. I still see the BKB. I still want to say the BKB coming out before the Ag Scepter, just because it's going to benefit the Viper so much more in those team fights. So we're seeing a 4-man team fight, just pushing mid, and really. Team Undecided really does not have much of a choice. They're going to have to try to defend this mid as much as possible. But unfortunately, with this all happening, it's just going to create more and more space for the Nature's Prophet to farm this bottom lane. And the Nature's Prophet's already getting a Mystic Staff. I'm guessing he's going to try to rush a Sheepstick as soon as possible. He's going to have to back here to make sure that he doesn't get pulled out from Team Undecided's gank. We got some wards coming up from this raiding path right here. And they do have a sentry ward right there, and they do detect several wards to give them some vision. And they're signaling for the Dazzler to go through and take those wards out as soon as possible. We've seen Omni Slash going against the Darkseer, which is just absolutely devastating. Omni Slash is just going to chase the hero down. You can't really get away from it, especially if you're the only hero within range. So Sylar was able actually to secure a kill for the Juggernaut.
I think their biggest problem is that they didn't ever attempt to shut down this Juggernaut, and he just got free farm and free kills, and now he's leading the net worth, and they can't really do anything to answer him right now. I mean, he's got a Madness S and Y, and looks like he's going to be picking up MKB, maybe?
MKB would be a good
he's going
pick.
to pick up a Skull Basher into Abyssal Blade. He's going to... Yeah, he's going to pick up into a Abyssal Blade.
That'd be a devastating item.
Any way to really shut him down.
Yeah, especially since he's an agility hero. He's just going to basically have very, very high attack speed. That's going to prevent the other team from actually going through and really just doing any damage against them, even casting spells, because he's going to basically be attacking so fast that it'll allow him to get perma-stunned. The Shadow Demon coming in there with a nice banish to try to save the Viper from being focused down. After that, Homing Rocket comes through and kicks him. We're going to see the Witch Doctor being chased down by the entire team there and being brought down by the Leshrac and Earthshaker. That was a pretty big hit for them, but you know, it's still going to create more space for the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, the Nature's Prophet is going to rush that Sheepstick as soon as possible. My guess is he's actually going to go through and target the Gyrocopter as soon as possible within a fight, and then just go through and take out all the other supports, and then go focus his attention back on the Gyrocopter afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd see that. Either the gyrocopter or the Leshrac. I think right now, let's look at the Leshrac right now. He has nothing, so yeah, they'd have to focus that gyrocopter down until that Leshrac starts getting a little bit beefier. Once he gets a Bloodstone, Octarine maybe, and a BKB, so they can't really deal with him. So once that Leshrac starts getting a little bit beefier, they'll probably have to start focusing him a little bit more, but until then they're just going to take out that gyro, and then everyone else is just going to be free cleanup for the Viper and Juggernaut.
Yeah, it looks like the Dazzle's not doing so well for Team Undecided so far either. The Dazzle just barely reached level 6, so up until this point, he hasn't been able to cast his ultimate over in the middle of team fights. In fact, he has not skilled his ultimate yet, which I think at this point it would not be a bad idea to have the ultimate first, because that ultimate's actually going to allow his team to have a little bit more tankability within those team fights, especially since they're going against the Juggernaut and the Viper. They're going to need as much armor as possible to keep their team alive. Seeing another homing rocket going against the Viper right there, again being saved by the Shadow Demon with a nice banish.
I don't know why he really.
And we're seeing a big T-fight coming through in the middle. The Viper is going to be focused down. We're going to see a Darkseer actually go through and vacuum him right back right when he's being chased away. Not a whole lot the Viper can really do there. That was a big wipe for them. Having that Viper taken out is going to be a huge down, because it's going to actually allow Team Undecided to go through and actually start forcing the middle tower as soon as possible. This Nature's Prophet, in the meantime, is just going to go through and continuously just rat Dota them. Very, very frustrating. Again, looks like Team Undecided try to come in there to defend them. The Juggernaut's going to go through and try to pull an Omni Snatch. The Witch Tower comes in with a critical Death Ward, able to bring down the Leshrac and the Dazzle. That was actually a very, very quick save by the Witch Doctor. Absolutely devastating. Actually allowed the Juggernaut to actually take the bot tower, and it looks like everybody's going to signal for the Roshan. Nature's Prophet is just being a huge pain in the ass. Already has a Sheepstake finish. It's going to be absolutely devastating within the team fights. It's going to make basically disable Gyrocopter non-stop. So far this match is going very well in Sylar's favor.
So it looks like this is going to be a free Roche towards the side of, looks like that Gyrocopter is going to look to try to contest it. I don't really know what he can do by himself, though.
Yeah, look, there's really not much I can do here. The Earthshaker maybe can actually pop in there. Echo Slam maybe? We're going to see the Viper actually pick up the Aegis.
They gave it to the Viper. Looks like
maybe for chasing power?
Farm into a Battle Fury.
Let's see that. And I wonder if the Nature's Prophet might be going for Dagon, do you think? Or maybe an X. I wonder what his next item is. He just had 2 no talismans, which is actually great items. Juggernaut's already got his Basher, which is going to be just devastating. Now we see the Echo Slam coming from the Earthshaker there. They're going to try to bring down that Viper again. The Viper is going to need to, if you're going to bring the Viper down, then you're going to have to kill him twice, because he does have Aegis in there. It's going to be very difficult to bring down, because the Witch Doctor actually was able to pop his Death Ward with the BKB. Team Undecided is going to have to retreat there. There's not much they can do. Viper was able to cast his Nether Toxin against Darkseer. Darkseer barely makes it back to the fountain in time without being brought down. Very, very close match. This is fairly.
Looks like they might be able to take our X. Maybe just a tier 3.
Yeah, fairly tense game. Actually, they catch the Dazzle off guard. This Dazzle is just having the roughest game so far. 0-8, still level 7 at 26 minutes in. Unfortunately, this Dazzle's utility is just going to be worn off.
He's not trained his weave.
There's just not much that the Dazzle can really do right now to impact the teams.
Why he doesn't change his.
I think maybe his train of thought was to try to get that Shallow Grave to last a little bit longer, to keep his team alive a little bit longer. I think at this point, Team Undecided is realizing that they can't really engage on full team fights.
The last 2 points, I believe, he trained into is Shadow Wave, not Shallow Grave.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's take a look and see what he has here. Yeah, he's doing word builds 2-3-2. He's not maxing any particular stat here. We're going to see this Viper pop his Aegis and come right back up. He's going to re-engage and fight. And I think they're going to try to take down the Gyrocopter as soon as possible. We're going to see the Witch Doctor actually canceling his Death Ward. He had actually had a Death Ward down. He had to actually cancel it out. And it's going to pose Paralyzing Cast. It's going to bounce back and forth between the Leshrac and the Earthshaker. And we see the Dazzle and the Earthshake and the Gyrocopter being brought down again. This is just not going well for Team Undecided at all. Juggernaut and the Nature's Prophet's going to come in. He's going to focus on the Earthshaker. Viper was able to be brought down, but they lost to Rax, and they almost have a team wipe. Only the Darkseer's left by himself. We're going to see a buyback coming directly from the Earthshaker.
That Jug, that was a nice play on that Darkseer.
Oh, I actually didn't see that. What did the Darkseer do? I did not catch that death.
So the Darkseer vacuumed into his own fountain. The Juggernaut into his own fountain when he was really low HP, and the fountain was able to finish him off. It was really nice play. He was just barely on the edge of the vacuum too.
Oh wow, they definitely needed that because they just had a 4-man team wipe, and now it looks like they're gonna recounter back with a 4-man team wipe against Sylar's Route. They're really going to need to push some lanes right now. At this point, they're just losing a lot of map control, and they're just suffering from a lot of farm. We always see the Viper, Nature's Prophet, and Juggernaut basically being the highest in net worth, with the Dazzle and Earthshaker at the very bottom. And that's absolutely devastating because the Juggernaut, Nature's Prophet, and Viper are going to be the core heroes for Sylar's Wrath right now. Sylar's Wrath is doing, again, fairly well, especially with the Viper just going through and chasing down. They're going to have to finish this game fast, though. Again, it's just because Viper just isn't a very great late-game hero, but hopefully well, I guess that won't be too hard because it looks like the Juggernaut's actually going to mitigate the late game, just especially having the Basher already.
It looks like... Yeah, he looks like he's either gonna finish his Battle Fury or gonna grab his Abyssal Blade now. I don't know why he just has a casual Quelling Blade unless he's getting a Battle Fury.
That makes sense. He probably isn't having the Quelling Blade within his inventory, so that way he can actually TP, or have a TP in him, maybe. And we're seeing this Viper just...
Yeah, that might be true, but I don't know why he has a casual 4,000 gold just sitting in his pocket without spending it on anything.
He's pulling in Ice style. And I know Ice, or is it Mushi? That's just infamous for just hoarding a shitload of gold and not buying anything until last minute. So that could be the reason. Maybe they're just trying to be like Mushi or Ice. Chinese Dota style. Looks like this Darkseer is actually going to try to go through and try to farm this, but he's going to get caught out by the Shadow Demon.
Like Chinese Dodo in Utah.
Alright. We got a big team fight coming down here. We're going to see the Leshrac being brought down, the Gyrocopter being brought down. This team fight is not going well. They were able to actually go through, and
there goes their 2 cores.
Dazzle's going to be brought down right there with this.
Oh, that bash on the...
That bash on Dazzle is just absolutely devastating. That Shallow Grave could not save this Dazzle just because there's no way he could run when he's just being bashed to death. That fight did not go well at all for Team Undecided. Again, the global call down went through for the Gyrocopter, and I think the Earthshaker was trying to go through and do a Echo Slam, but just the Viper is just so tanky, and then the fact that the Witch Doctor has his Black King bar already just makes him a monster force to deal with whenever he gets into a team fight, because he's able to throw his cask in there and start throwing the Death Wards to have him bounce back and forth and take him out.
They really want this top tier.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like they're trying to rat bottom 2. Oh, the Viper's gonna get a pick off on this Earthshaker.
The Viper's going to actually be brought down by the Earthshaker, but the Earthshaker is still going to go down from the Nether Toxin from the Viper. And again, Nature's Prophet picking up. Nature's Prophet is actually going to go Mjolnir. Get some extremely fast attack speed. It would not surprise me if I actually picked up a Desolator next. It's a very powerful ganking tool that I see Nature's Prophets play. So Nature's Prophet is actually farming extremely well. It's going to cast a... He's just throwing his Nature's Call out as soon as it's off cooldown. Nature's Call is just awesome as a farming item. You don't have to really save that out of team fights per se.
He went Scotty.
Who went Scotty?
Juggernaut went Scotty. That's why he was saving up all his gold. He just went to Secret Shop and bought it all in one piece.
Oh, okay, it makes a lot of sense.
You're right.
Scotty is a great item to have.
Big pickup though.
Yeah, it's going to give him a lot of tankiness. And on top of that, the tankiness is actually going to give him give him actually a very reliable slow whenever he gets in team fights. So basically, if you get in a one-on-one match fight against Juggernaut, you're pretty much dead, because if you're not being slowed, you're going to be bashed. If you're not being bashed, you're going to be slowed. Either way, it's just absolutely devastating to fight this Juggernaut one-on-one right now. I think the next thing to do would be to get rid of his Ring of Aquila and maybe convert that to a maybe Butterfly.
Yeah, I think either Butterfly or something, just give him raw damage. Like, let's see, you could go anything really.
Monkey King Bar,
Butterfly,
maybe?
finishes a Blistle, Battle Fury. Monkey Peak. If there's a Butterfly appearing on the other team, I'd consider the Monkey King Bar, but I don't see Gyro getting it anytime soon, just because he's way behind on farm, and he'd be the only one that would be a candidate to pick one up. So I think that MKB is pretty much out of the question, because he already has a Skull Basher, so he doesn't really need any other mini bash.
That makes a lot of sense. There's really not many heroes here that are going to have to evade much, but we're already seeing that the Viper has finished his Aghanim Scepter, and it looks like he's actually going to go through and start finishing his BKB as soon as possible. Once he gets his BKB, it's going to be extremely difficult for the Leshrac or any of the other heroes to do any damage at all, just because the Viper's going to be so freaking tanky already, along with being a mech carrier, so it's just going to give him a lot of sustainability. And there's a couple times where the Viper should have been brought down, but the mechanism was able actually to keep him from dying at the very last second. Let's take a look at the gold charts here.
BKB pretty much mitigates their entire team except for Gyrocopter.
Makes a lot of sense. And look, so there's a huge.
It's going to be a really nice pickup on the.
We got a huge XP lead for a.
Go ahead, continue.
Oh, sorry. We have a huge XP lead for Sylar's Wrath, and a huge experience lead from Sylar's Wrath as well. So this game is not going very well for Team Undecided, which will be exciting, because it looks like we might take this into a best-of-3 game series, unless there's a huge comeback that comes through here. Looks like the Dazzle's going to pick up the a Gem of True Sight. I'm guessing he's using a Gem of True Sight just to go through and ward as much as possible. Or I can't think of any other reason why you would pick up a Gem of True Sight for a game where there's no invisible heroes, unless you're rewarding.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I think it would be better to put it on the Earthshaker rather than the Dazzle, because the Dazzle can just be brought down so easily by pretty much any one of their team, except for maybe the Shadow Demon.
It doesn't look like the Earthshaker is able to actually carry it, just because all the items are actually it's just completely 6 slotted right now. It looks like the Earthshaker might actually be trying to build his Aghanim Scepter, so that way he can actually get the Echo Slam to really do a lot more damage. Really, the guy that they need to focus down on right now is the Nature's Prophet, just because every time there's a team fight going on, the Nature's Prophet is not there until the last second, because he's just going out there and just getting a lot of space created and pushing out the lanes as much as possible. Yeah, this is some very, very fast attack speed coming from Nature's Prophet. I really see the next item that he picks up is going to be a Desolator of some sort. Perhaps an Aghanim Scepter. An Aghanim Scepter would be an absolutely devastating item, because for every single creep he gets. And we see a huge team fight coming through the middle. Earthshaker is going to go through and cast his Echo Slam. He's going to go through and bring down... Oh, wow. That was actually a huge team fight. Huge team fight for...
That Death Ward.
That Death Ward was amazing. Aghanim Scepter, 4 bounces. That completely brought down Team Undecided. It didn't. Initially looked like everybody's going to be brought down. The Viper got bursted down pretty quickly onto Shadow Demon, but that Witch Doctor really just did some work with his Death Ward and the Ag Scepter upgrade. Absolutely devastating. We're going to see GG being called. Yeah, GG being called from Team Undecided. Looks like we have a game tied 1-1 so far of the 3 series. So it looks like we're going to have a game 3 coming up here, guys. Really great matches coming from both teams. Been extremely exciting. Let us know what you guys think. We're going to get this match uploaded as soon as possible. Let's take a look and see everything that's been going on here. So, based on this game, what do you think was the big factors that cost Team Undecided their victory?
You mean Team Sylar, what their
No,
name is?
so Sylar's Wrath actually won. Team Undecided actually lost, so.
No, I thought Team Undecided was on Dire, my bad.
Nope, all good.
I mean, yeah. But all right, so yeah, I think the biggest win factor.
Oh shit, sorry. Oops, sorry, actually kicked me out of the game. Oh, that was awkward. So